My wife thought I was broke and powerless. But on the day of our divorce, I hit the lottery and became a billionaire. After becoming single, my beautiful and wealthy female boss was all over me, leading me to the peak of my life. There must be tons of guys chasing you, so why me? Because you're worth it. As long as you agree to divorce Tina, I'll privately compensate you with $200K. After dinner, I was doing the dishes when I suddenly heard my mother-in-law make the offer, and my heart felt like it stopped. I glanced into the living room at my wife, Tina. She was glued to TikTok, acting like she didn't care at all. Divorce is fine. Seeing me finally give in, my wife looked up, shocked and happy. No time like the present. How about today? She was eager. My mother-in-law hesitated. Are you really okay with this? Yeah. I calmly placed the dishes back on the table and took off my apron. But I have 2 conditions. What conditions? As long as you agree to divorce, I'm down. Tina chuckled. This was the first time I'd seen her smile since our half-year divorce drama. First, I don't want the house, car, or savings. But I need $1 million compensation from the family, plus the $200K you mentioned. Tina didn't agree right away, but she didn't protest either because she knew the Sue family could afford it. Second, I want 30% of the company's shares. No way. Before I finished, my mother-in-law lost it. That company was Tina's dad's. You've got no right to it. Are you shameless? If not, then whatever. We can drag this out. I don't mind being an absent dad. Tina's face twisted with anger. You're ruthless. What do you gain from wrecking our family? My mother-in-law slapped me, shouting, so this is your true face. You only wanted our money from the start. You're trash. No upbringing. She tried to hit me again, but I blocked it. You dare hit back? My mother-in-law gasped. Tina wanted to hit me but hesitated. Insult me if you want, but don't bring my family into this, I said slowly. I've got evidence of Tina's infidelity. She's pregnant by someone else, which makes her at fault. If this goes to court, the house and car go to me. This place is worth at least $8 million. Cross me and you'll regret it. After a pause, Tina said, fine, I'll add another $200K, totaling $1 million, but I can't give you shares. I'm begging you. She stood protectively between her mom and me, looking desperate. I played it cool, pretended to think for a couple of minutes and said, fine, let's hit up the civil affairs office right now. Sign the agreement first. I'll go after I get the money, I said. Tina, worried I'd keep asking for money later, added a clause at the end of the agreement stating neither party could demand any assets post-signing. I smiled. Just what I wanted, so she wouldn't cash in on my money later. Before signing, I got $1.4 million in 3 transfers on the spot. With the divorce finalized, I walked away with no regrets, never looking back at that home. With just a backpack, I secured 2 apartments I'd been eyeing in a high-end building. One for living, one to rent out. The one I'll live in is over 200 square meters, for bedrooms, and perfectly furnished. The rental is an 80 square meter 2-bedroom. I only paid the deposit since my lottery winnings hadn't hit my account yet. In a way, I should thank Eric, despite him stepping between Tina and me. If not for him, I'd never have bought a lottery ticket. Nor would fate have smiled on me, winning nearly $100 million during a divorce squabble. After taxes, it was still $80 million. That day, I was at the hospital getting treatment, having been in a car accident while saving Tina. I hadn't fully healed. On the subway home with a bag of meds, Eric DM'd me an ultrasound on Instagram. It was Tina and some other guy's baby. My world fell apart at that instant. As a man, I truly loved Tina and our little family. I broke down, sobbing on the subway. The passengers around me threw puzzled and pitying looks. When I got off, a sudden storm poured down. In a daze, I ducked under the awning of a lottery shop to escape the rain. The shop owner was kind. Seeing me soaked and miserable, he invited me inside to warm up. When the rain stopped, out of gratitude, I bought $30 worth of tickets. Random numbers? The owner asked. Sure. After endless arguments with Eric and Tina, which I won't dwell on, I felt empty. Out of nowhere, I found those tickets. I checked and ended up winning first prize 15 times. Nearly $1 billion. That fortune pulled me from the swamp of Tina's betrayal. From then on, I plotted how to cleanly divorce Tina without her catching on. I no longer hated her for cheating. I didn't even tell her about my win. We were even in my eyes. Besides spending $20 million on new property, I invested in 4 commercial shops. The rest I split into stocks, funds, bonds, and fixed deposits. Enough for 3 lifetimes. I still had a few million left. I hit the mall to buy clothes I'd never have dreamed of before. Even turned a whole room into a walk-in closet. The mall manager noticed my near $1 million spree and treated me like royalty. They arranged a private lounge and had staff only cater to me. But I didn't buy a car since I couldn't tell anyone about my lottery win. Not even family. After 2 months of enjoying life, I decided to return to work. I'm a graduate from a prestigious university and used to teach in a middle school. After marrying Tina, I quit to become her personal assistant. Ironically, after being injured, having kids was impossible. Hence, my mother-in-law's constant disdain. So I spent years on meds and doctor visits. Back then, I truly loved Tina. Now I'm free, rich, and loving life. After a couple of days, I started working for a media company handling logistics. There was no performance review, no work pressure, and I rarely had to work weekends or holidays. Maybe it's because I'm easygoing and often treated coworkers to meals and coffee. Everyone seemed to like me. Within a month, I'd found my place in their little circle. Mike, the boss's secretary, was both handsome and fit. We often hit the gym together and soon became close buddies. One weekend, Mike had something come up and asked if I could help by getting Linda to sign an urgent document. Just go to her place. I'll give you her door code, he said. Linda often wears headphones, so she might not hear the doorbell. Thanks a lot, I'll get you coffee tomorrow. No worries, I replied. I'm not doing anything anyway. I printed the documents, put on my casual tracksuit, and headed out. After taking the subway, I arrived at Linda's villa. I rang the doorbell twice, but nobody came. So I used the door code to enter. Linda was in her bathroom, earbuds in and eyes closed, soaking in the tub. I quickly backed out and called her name from the doorway. Come in, she said. I was too nervous to move. Come in, she insisted. I swallowed my nerves and stepped inside. The bathroom was filled with the scent of fragrant bath products. And there was Linda, her shoulders bare as snow. Mike sent me to get your signature. I stammered, handing her the papers while keeping my eyes averted. After she signed, I took the document and turned to go. Suddenly, she asked, "Are you busy this afternoon? I need to get these files back to the company." "The project team is waiting," I replied. "You should tell the project team to come get the files from the resort." "You're coming to a dinner party with me," she insisted. I was stunned. "It's probably not appropriate," I said, glancing down at my outfit. "You're definitely not dressed for the occasion," Linda agreed, "but consider it overtime." "All right," I conceded. I'd never been to such an upscale event before, and it intrigued me. At the resort, a hostess came to greet us. Linda noticed my nerves and calmly said, "It's just a regular dinner party. Relax." "Okay," I replied, blushing at her kindness. The hostess was taken aback by my tracksuit but maintained her composure. She led me to a men's lounge while Linda was shown elsewhere. In the lounge, there was soft, tranquil music playing. I was about to sit and check my phone when someone approached. "What are you doing here?" a voice demanded. I looked up to see Eric, dressed sharply in a suit, staring down at me. He was Tina's husband now. I hadn't seen Eric, Tina, or any of the Seuss since my divorce. I didn't hold any grudges, but if they messed with me, I was ready. "I'm here because I want to be," I replied coolly. "Are you here to work as a waiter?" Eric sneered, pulling out a wad of cash from his bag. "Take this as a tip and leave. I don't want Tina and me to see you here again." I chuckled. "Eric, I'm actually working some overtime. If you two don't want to see me, you can leave." "You," Eric fumed. "Just wait, you'll see." "I'm waiting," I shot back. Minutes later, Tina burst in, frustrated. She hissed, "You better not let anyone find out about us. Ben's just here earning money now. He's not here to cause trouble." Pathetic. I laughed. The serene background music and Eric's drama felt like an over-the-top soap opera. Eric glared at me. "Watch your mouth." Just when I was about to lose it and punch him, someone took my arm. It was Linda. "Friends of yours?" she asked, her voice calm yet commanding. I stammered, unsure how to respond. "I'm Linda." She introduced herself, extending a hand. Tina, surprised, quickly shook it. "Nice to meet you. I'm Tina," she said, clearly recognizing Linda's elite status but had never managed to make a connection. Linda turned to me. "Ben forgot his suit. I'm taking him to change into a proper one. You two can carry on." She called me Ben so casually, I felt myself blushing again. Linda led me away without bothering about their stares. To my surprise, Linda really had a suit brought in for me, and soon a stylist was making me over. I looked completely different. "Let's go," she said, linking her arm with mine. When we stepped through the grand doors of the dinner party, there was a dazzling array of lights and mingling people. All eyes turned to us. Among them, I saw confusion and anger in the eyes of Tina and Eric. By the time we left the resort, it was well past midnight. Linda, tipsy from the evening's drinks, seemed a bit unsteady. I arranged for a driver to take her home, staying by her side to make sure she got back safely. Once she was home, I changed back into my tracksuit, ready to leave. "Can you make me some noodles?" Linda asked. I didn't get enough to eat. The request wasn't difficult, so I stayed. I'd been a cook for Tina. Making meals was second nature to me. "Is she your ex-wife?" Linda inquired. "How do you know? Says in your file you're divorced." Talking to such a beautiful, gentle woman who clearly showed interest in me made my heart flutter. I even started hoping for more. Her intense gaze made me blush as I turned to wash some vegetables. Suddenly, I felt Linda's arms circle me, her presence enveloping me as my heart raced. "You'll get wet," she murmured. "Huh?" I shivered inexplicably at her touch. Linda rolled up my sleeves slightly and leaned close, her words teasing. "I think you're imagining something odd." "Can't I imagine?" I replied, teasing her back, my wet fingers brushing her hand. Linda's eyes softened dreamily. "Would you stay tonight?" she asked. Staying meant spending the night. I didn't resist much. The night unfolded with unexpected ease. It was more harmonious than any time I'd been with Tina. We were completely open with each other, like the sweetest of lovers. But why? Liking something doesn't need a reason. At the office, Linda and I acted like nothing was going on. When we passed each other, we'd secretly touch hands or she'd pinch my waist. Sometimes she'd call me to her office, teasing me, leaving me all flustered but empty-handed. When she wanted me at her villa, she'd call the office landline and say, "I really want your noodles right now." Every time, it left me so nervous I felt numb, but I was thrilled. Mike noticed me acting odd. "What's up with you? You're blushing like crazy." I quickly hung up and touched my hot face. "I'm not feeling well, thinking about heading home early. Then go home and rest. I've got this. Besides, boss just left." "Thanks a lot." I bolted out. Without a car, I ran to a quiet spot next to another building. Linda was already there. Instead of driving home, she took me to a park's lakeside parking lot. There was wide green grass, bright sunshine, a gently flowing lake, and since it was midday on a workday, almost no one was around. No one to stop us from having a good time. And even if there were, so what? Consenting adults. Live and let live. After playing around in the car for a couple of hours, I started feeling hungry. Linda wanted to take me to a Michelin restaurant, but honestly, I just wanted some noodles. So we hit up the usual roadside spot for a big bowl of beef noodle soup. Linda was a bit unhappy, thinking it was dirty, but she didn't say anything for my sake. She didn't eat a bite, so after happily slurping up my noodles, I had to take her home instead. All right, don't be mad. I'll make you some noodles at home," I said to cheer her up. Linda raised her eyebrows and said suggestively, "Are you sure?" I rolled my eyes at her. "What's wrong with making noodles? How about tomato and egg noodles?" "Not talking to you." Linda crossed her arms, shooting a fake glare my way. Her flowing dress made her look like something out of a fairy tale. Even when she's upset, She steals my heart. Out of nowhere, we ran into Tina downstairs. What a mood killer, I thought. Tina stormed up. It was you, wasn't it? But when she saw Linda behind me, she looked like she'd swallowed a fly, instantly toning down. She stuck out her hand sheepishly. Linda, hi. Linda didn't bother shaking hands. She raised her eyebrows. Who are you? Do we know each other? Tina drew back awkwardly. I'm the project lead for the TV drama Prince. Turns out, Tina and all of Linda's media group were developing a project. Somehow, Linda maneuvered things so the investors didn't choose to work with Tina, even though it was contract signing time. Linda knew, but didn't show any sign. I don't know much about the TV project, but she had the pull if she wanted. Did you need Ben for something? Linda asked, playing dumb. Tina hadn't thought up a reply when Linda added, the two of you are divorced. You're strangers now. I hope whether you have something to say or not, you won't bother my boyfriend again. Or else, prepare for consequences. I was taken off guard. She called me her boyfriend. I thought we were just having fun. You handle your stuff on your own. Okay? Linda said again. Tina was biting mad but didn't say a thing, leaving with her tail between her legs. I happily led Linda upstairs. While in the elevator, I got a barrage of Instagram messages from Tina. The apartment, she bought it, right? You two are so together already. Were you cheating before? Bastard. You cost me so much. I stayed calm, not bothered, finding it funny, and quickly replied, you're the cheater. Got pregnant with someone else before the wedding. Want me to show your mom or your future kid the video of you two together? I went hard since she was the one playing dirty. Eric was right. You are the most vicious man, she texted back. Yep, I'm pretty vicious now. Don't test me, I shot back. Linda blocked the open elevator, looking at me deeply. With me and you're still texting other girls? She seemed a bit jealous, making me even happier. I took her home saying, not anymore. I'm blocking her. Also, thanks for dealing with her, but it's unnecessary in the future. Alright, whatever you say, Linda agreed, raising her eyebrows with a smile. At work, nobody knew Linda and I were a thing. Watching the guys swoon over Linda gave me a secret thrill. This mesmerizing woman was mine. Linda was heading to Paris for a film festival. When the news came out, everyone wanted to join. But Linda insisted she needed a French-speaking assistant and picked me, which shocked everyone. While helping with my travel arrangements, Mike eyed me suspiciously. Do you like Linda? Why can't she like me? I countered. Mike was doubtful. Linda seems like a distant ice queen, probably doesn't even like guys. I laughed out loud. If she's distant, I must be the king of icy hearts. After a while, rumors started in the company. They said I was always in the boss's office, that Linda looked at me differently, or they'd seen us on dates. Linda paid no mind. Neither did I. I'd already survived one divorce. I'd seen it all. Plus, with millions in assets, nothing, women, jobs, or the bitter looks from others, could faze me. I was all about living in the moment. After a long flight, we finally made it to France. It was my second time in Paris. In my junior year of college, with half a year's worth of savings from my part-time job, I went on a budget trip to France. Ironically, back then I had grand ambitions, thinking I'd achieve something big someday. But right after graduation, I got married and never really got a chance to spread my wings. I haven't even traveled abroad since. Linda showed me around France. We had coffee watching the sunset below the Eiffel Tower, and at the Louvre, she explained the art I didn't understand. We hugged at Notre Dame and watched plays on the Champs-Élysées. We attended parties together, wore fancy dresses and danced on rooftops, kissing under spectacular fireworks. It was beautiful and free. After finishing up with work stuff, we decided to spend a couple of weeks in a mountain north of Paris. The town was scenic, surrounded by mountains with the sun shining all day. The locals were relaxed and happy. We stayed in a little cabin in the woods, sleeping in and sometimes waking up early to watch the sunrise on the mountain. Linda was unexpectedly warm and caring, like a real girlfriend would be, telling curious French folk I was her husband. We were basically inseparable, living our little world. She'd cuddle up with me on the sunny wooden floors, chatting quietly, or softly kiss my forehead in the glow of a romantic sunset. The kitchen, living room, study, and garden were all filled with our happy memories. She was never tired in front of me, always so full of life. The most memorable time was for my birthday. Linda drove us to the mountaintop for a camping celebration. As the sun set, we saw an elderly French couple dancing tango in the rosy twilight. No music, no audience, but I was captivated. Linda told them it was my birthday. They not only wished me well, but also gifted us a bottle of wine. Since Linda was supposed to drive, we didn't bring any booze. But to enjoy the wine, we decided to stay overnight on the mountain. It was a crazy idea, knowing that the mountain had wild animals around. The wind whistled through the forest, but the weather was perfect, neither too warm nor too cool, and the moon was bright. We kissed sweetly in the moonlight, relishing the joy of forbidden freedom. Since we originally planned to go back that night, we didn't have any condoms. Linda wanted to backtrack, admitting it was a mistake. She had that irresistible smile, her cheeks flushed and forehead a bit sweaty. No worries, I told her. I turned around, hugged her against the car, and confessed. I might be infertile. It was the first time I admitted this openly. Linda kissed my forehead, smiling, saying maybe she was too. Peace returned. Lying in the tent, I asked, "How come you chose me, with all the guys chasing you?" Linda, lazily hugging me, muttered, "Because you're worth it." Worth it. It brought tears to my eyes. I was worth it. I repeated it in my mind. Being with Tina felt like it was in another lifetime. Those times felt so dark and ignorant. Ignorant to think my efforts were out of love when it really wasn't. It was more like foolishness. Foolish enough to always try meeting others' expectations of me. Returning home, it was winter already. My stock soared, and the funds were doing well too, yielding a $500,000 bonus. I donated it to the small-town high school I attended. My homeroom teacher was thrilled to see me succeeded, eyes brimming with tears, saying how proud he was. Doing charity filled me with satisfaction. With my teacher's help, I decided to sponsor 50 poor kids and set up an education fund. At that moment, I didn't know the storm brewing in Tina's household. After marrying Eric, who controlled the company's finances, he got into shady stuff. Someone tempted him to secretly use company funds to buy stocks, hoping to make some cash on the side. He ended up losing nearly $1 million. The fallout stopped one of the company projects completely. Tina, 8 months pregnant, was furious but had to hold it in for the sake of the baby. She stripped Eric of his company duties. Jobless, Eric stayed home all day, clashing with his mother-in-law, Wendy, causing chaos at home. One day, because of a trivial argument with Wendy, Tina got so stressed she had painful contractions and risked early labor, needing hospitalization. Wendy took advantage, whispering to her daughter, "Eric's too deceitful. Ben's better. After the baby comes, win Ben back. Let him be the dad. It's always best with the first husband." Tina considered it, thinking it feasible. A true mama's girl. Linda headed abroad for her dad's medical treatment, absent from the company for over 10 days. With the time difference, I could only get a word with her occasionally, sometimes losing touch completely. Then Linda told me she was pregnant. I was shocked yet thrilled. 8 years of ineffective meds, one unprotected time in Paris. She got pregnant. I cried tears of joy but quickly began to worry. I wasn't sure if Linda wanted the baby or had plans for our future. Her family might intervene, wanting her to abort. Whatever the case, I wanted to respect her choice. I decided to wait until she was back to talk it over. With Linda gone, I was the most familiar with the project we discussed in France. Plus, I knew French, so I joined the company's project meetings. I wrote reports and made presentations. The project manager noticed me, asking if I was interested in joining. Of course, I said yes. By the time Linda returned, over 2 months later, I'd become the assistant director of the project department. Then, out of the blue, Eric caused a scene. He accused, "Have you no shame? Tina's my wife. Stop contacting her." Playing the victim, onlookers assumed I was the homewrecker. Colleagues kept their distance, whispering among themselves, "You got it wrong. We're just sorting out our joint credit card and dealing with moving my household registration." Before I could finish, Eric went berserk, grabbing his hair and shouting, "She's divorcing me now. You ruined my marriage. You'll get what's coming to you." Eric suddenly lunged at me and punched. I didn't expect him to lose it like that. Really caught me off guard. Added to my health issues, I felt dizzy and almost fainted backward. Luckily, there was a small bar nearby I could grab onto, preventing a fall. I didn't want to cause a scene at work, so I held myself together and started to leave. Seeing me walk away, Eric tried to grab me. Just then, Linda hurried over, saw the bruise on my face, and got furious. I later found out that Mike ran to the office in a panic to get her to help. As Linda was about to confront him, I stopped her. "She's pregnant. Her health comes first. I'm fine, no point getting mad at someone like him. Mike, go get security." But Linda was on the brink of rage. "You better hope Ben's okay, or you'll pay dearly." Her voice was low, but each word cut through to Eric like a knife. I don't know how Eric left, but I clearly heard Linda say, "Ben is my man." Linda applied ointment to my swollen cheek. She wasn't happy. "You should cheer up. It's good for the baby." "I'm okay," I quietly reassured her. "Is it just the baby you care about?" She frowned when she was upset. After a long pause, I finally said, "I don't know if you or your family would even want this child. I worry you or your family might want you to have an abortion. But whatever you choose, I'll support you. I may not know what I want, but I know what I don't want. I don't want you to be unhappy." Linda was stunned, then chuckled, "Your family? Where'd you pick that up?" "It's what they say on TV," I replied. Linda was silent for a moment, then said seriously, "Should we break up then? My family certainly wouldn't allow for a child out of wedlock. If that's what it takes, I agree." I paused, swallowing the lump in my throat, but calmly told her. Linda seemed a bit disappointed, squeezed my hand, and got up to leave. I thought she was gone, thought it was over. My chest hurt, and my throat felt clogged. I knew I loved her. The door suddenly opened again. Linda came in with fruit and food, saw my pained expression, and was alarmed. "What's wrong?" I quickly held on to her, burying my face in her arms. "I thought you left, thought you didn't want me anymore." Linda patted my back. "Silly, you can choose me, and I can choose the baby too. The joy of becoming a father is incomparable. To prepare for the new life, I'm taking unpaid leave to stay home. Since the company is Linda's, I can go back whenever I want. Mike and colleagues are all congratulating and envying me. I got in touch with the best OBGYN in town, paid a hefty fee to have her on standby. Linda doesn't know I won the lottery, worried I'd be short on money. She gave me a no-limit credit card for pocket money. I didn't refuse since everything I have is hers anyway. I started buying all sorts of baby stuff, setting up the nursery, and carefully choosing a postpartum care center and a live-in nanny. Linda borrowed some help from her mother, uneasy about outsiders. Every day felt full of anticipation and warmth as we awaited our little one's arrival. 2 old family maids, one who'd been with Linda since she was young, expertly handled everything, keeping the house in perfect order and putting my mind at ease. I accompanied Linda to every prenatal checkup. Frequent trips to the hospital meant running into familiar faces sometimes, like Eric and Tina. Tina looked exhausted waiting for documents, while Eric played games on a couch. Inwardly, I laughed at the woman in front of me, worn out, ruthless, once my wife of 10 years. How could I have loved someone like that? I couldn't figure it out. When Tina saw Linda was pregnant, she was shocked. Eric, seeing her staring, slapped her. "Slut." "What? Hoping to rekindle old flames? Too bad he's got a woman now." Tina had never been hit before, and in her anger, slapped Eric back twice. Eric howled, "Don't think being pregnant stops me from hitting you." The two got into a screaming match, attracting attention with phones out recording. Linda pulled me away. "Ugh, too noisy. What do you prefer, a boy or a girl?" I asked Linda, lying on the sunlit wooden floor. "A boy," she replied. "Ah, you're so biased." I teased. "I just think girls have it harder in this world than boys. I hope our child doesn't have to struggle like that. Boy or girl, I'll love them no matter what." Linda's words brought tears to my eyes. "She'll make an amazing mother." I told Linda about winning the lottery. She didn't ask much, just said, "Your money here will never be touched. Use it like before, and make sure to get everything properly notarized. Don't tell anyone else." I nodded. Not long after, a college friend told me Tina divorced Eric, giving up an $8 million house in the process. How much Eric took no one knows, but given Tina's mom's stroke from rage, it wasn't small. Their baby boy, still breastfeeding, was awarded to Tina. Their stories, like old things sealed away, will eventually disappear completely. By midsummer, I moved into the maternity ward with Linda, waiting for the new life to arrive. Linda's family probably already knew about me. Her siblings had their secretaries send over some nutritional supplements, but Linda's parents never showed up. Maybe Linda and I can never get married. It's probably like in those TV dramas where a divorced guy who doesn't match up with the wealthy family can't measure up to the heiress. But who cares at the end of the day? What I didn't know was that Linda's parents not interfering was already the biggest compromise. It was the result of Linda giving up half her inheritance. I heard that half of it could be worth over $1 billion. How could I be worthy of her giving up so much for me? Honestly, I don't care about Linda's family's attitude or how much money Linda has. As long as Linda asks, I'm willing to do anything for her. I often feel I don't deserve her treating me this way, that I'm not good enough for her. But she always says, "You are worth it." Those words are enough to comfort half a lifetime of my unhappiness. Enough for me to give her everything, including my life. These days, all I want is for Linda and our daughter to be safe and sound. Yeah, I'd like a daughter, a sweet little girl. 2 hours before she gave birth, Linda proposed to me. The ceremony was simple, with no one else there. She held up an emerald ring passed down through her family, tears of tenderness in her eyes. "Will you marry me?" I was touched, but also hesitant. "Why me?" She didn't answer me. She just said, "It was love at first sight with you." I remembered the first time I saw Linda. I hadn't been to a job interview in years, so I was nervous and went to the hallway by the stairs to do some deep breath. I heard voices coming from downstairs, so I rushed back up. After 2 steps, I saw a woman standing there in the sunlight, half smiling with eyes that sparkled. She was beautiful. We locked eyes for a couple of seconds before she stepped aside, signaling I could go ahead. I said thanks and walked past her.